Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. So today's practice session is gonna be on P-40. I'm gonna refresh my memories about that sequence, that procedure, that mission. A few settings I need to do, and let's start. Well, mission plan is gonna be quite simple. There is a vehicle column convoy over here, and there is plenty of time, almost 4 hours. That's good. I gonna do, just as usual, some taxiing on start position, then takeoff, then formation pattern. Then I gonna simulate route flying because my target is too close to my airfield. Unfortunately, I would like that target to be somewhere there, but there is no any relevant targets over there. So I gonna fly, let's say, maybe to Dover, maybe to Folkestone. Let's see, and then back in the sea, back to this point. Then I'm gonna start AAA suppression pattern, rejoin pattern, once again suppression pattern. Then I'm gonna perform a circle strafing pattern. I'm gonna strafe that trucks, that vehicles. If everything goes right, then after that target just destroyed, I'm gonna simulate return to base route flying. Once again, I just need to simulate that. There is no any other opportunities except this server for normal practice mission, unfortunately, but thanks God SteelSkies SLT server is available. Fine weather as usual. P-40 is available, quite good airfield. So let's start. I set my skin 100% fuel and standard armament. I hope that mission's gonna be very long, quite boring of course, but I don't mind. Okay, first of all, before engine start procedure, settings. Let's set up our trims. Regardless, I've got TechnoChat on right now. I don't watch it. I remember it should be 5.5, 70% up elevator trim and 5.5 left rudder. Half closed radiator cowl flaps and engine start. Engine starts itself in this game. I don't need to do anything. I just push the button. I didn't give up Mosquito. I think tomorrow is gonna be scheduled Mosquito practice session, but I need to practice P-40. That's my basic training airplane. I love it. Lights on. I'm gonna check my track IR settings while it's still available. Track IR settings is absolutely okay. And very soon I'm gonna start rolling, taxiing. Engines on. No malfunction with engines. In this game I don't even need to check any instrument gauges, instrument panel gauges. Parking brakes off and start. To start on a grassy surface I use 15-20 100 RPM power, and then I'm gonna reduce it to 1300 RPM, a little bit less than 13. Oh no, 10, because I gonna do taxiing on not on grassy surface but on asphalt. So 1000 RPM is more than enough for me. A little bit less than that. 1000 RPM is value I need. Let it be a little bit more. 1020, I think. I've touched gravel with my right wheel, so that caused me a decrease in my taxiing speed a little bit, but I've got no intention to change my power settings anymore, because asphalt or concrete surface is very inconvenient. You need very little power, engine power for normal taxiing speed without using brakes. So when I set that power, I don't want to reset it once again. I'm absolutely comfortable taxiing speed, maybe a little bit too fast, but what can you do with that? Yes, a little bit too fast. A little bit too fast. I need to reduce, but that's gonna be very hard because your joystick throttle lever doesn't allow you to set that precisely. And I don't want to use technique of constantly changing that throttle lever position. So I'm trying to set that 1000 RPM power. I think I managed that 1050, I think. Oh no, 1005 or 1010 RPM is set. That's gonna be, I bet, a little bit not enough, but let's wait and see. That's definitely better than previous 1020 RPM. I watch it on my instrument panel. 1020 was too much. What can I say? This power settings is absolutely okay. Not too fast, not too slow. Absolutely comfortable. Taxiing speed to avoid circling for good, how you say it, drivability or maneuverability. You can turn, you move forward quite quickly. Ideal taxiing speed, what I if I say it. I'm doing S-turning while taxiing. That requires some skill. I love to deploy, to use that skill. That's a part of a game which makes your gaming good. Quite a short taxiing distance, quite straight, no any curves on this taxiway, but thanks God that asphalt taxi runway is quite wide. The nearest concrete surface airfield on Torn Island has got very narrow taxi runways, very narrow, which is inconvenient. So now I'm approaching start readiness point. That's a final point of taxiing and initial point of rolling into the start position part. Throttle back, watch my magnetic heading 060 I need, canopy close, and watch my stopwatch gauge. Let's wait a bit Okay, now I'm gonna start getting into start position, and my takeoff is gonna be 57 minutes. I need to memorize that, because plus 5 minutes, start time plus 5 minutes is my first left 90-degree turn timing. Okay, and 0 second start. Throttle move forward. Oh, my bad, I didn't set my RPM settings right. That was my mistake. Unacceptable mistake. That's why I need to practice on P-40. I'm starting to forget those sequences, those procedures. Technochat on, I'm gonna need it. 130 miles per hour, I'm gonna take off. Pull up, take off. Wheels up, RPM down to 72%. Technochat, I don't need it. Off, 150 miles per hour, pulling up. Throttle back. She is stabilized. Absolutely perfect. My P-40 is stabilized. I've got perfect heading. I don't need to do any manifold pressure corrections, because soon it's gonna be 800 feet altitude, and I'm gonna do transition into straight and level flight. At 800, technochat on, and transitioning into straight and level. Minus 10%. RPM down to 43%. Standard straight and level rudder and aileron settings. Minus 5% one more time. Wait until she accelerates and pulling her pitching nose up. She's pitching nose up, and I correct my elevator trim minus 5%. Wait, she's pitching up, minus 5%. Once again, I'm waiting. She's accelerating. When she accelerates enough, she's gonna pitch up. She's pitching up, minus 5%. Technochat off, I don't need it. Just when she's gonna pitch up one more time, I'm gonna reduce my manifold pressure, and that's gonna be stabilized straight and level attitude. My manifold pressure is gonna be 19.5. 19.5 I need to set. 19.4 I managed to set. Let's wait and see. My airplane is stabilized. Watch my heading. Heading is absolutely okay. Watch my timing. In 0 to mics, I gonna start my first left 90 degree turn. That means 1 minute 20 seconds left till that turn. I've got time. That procedure I perform right now, there is a formation pattern which is convenient for group formation. Each next airplane after takeoff is gonna start that first left turn 15 seconds later than leader airplane, and if your takeoff was with 30 seconds intervals, that's gonna allow you to form up your group after a second 90-degree left turn. That's very complicated to explain, very hard. You need to draw some schemes, some paintings, some drawings. My airplane is absolutely stabilized in 0 seconds starting left turn. Add a little bit manifold pressure, extra manifold pressure, watch 15-degree bank angle. She is quite stabilized, not letting her pitch nose up or pitch nose down. Watch vertical speed, it should be 0, and 30 seconds before desired heading, throttling back, pulling up a little bit, pull up, watch bank angle, and that's almost 060, leveling up, 060, she's stable. I watched my airspeed quite good, and I've got about 60 seconds till second left turn. And once again, if I had a next airplane behind me, that airplane is gonna start second turn 15 minutes after me, and if we had 15 seconds after me, and if we had 30 seconds interval of takeoff after that airplane completes his second 90-degree left turn, group's gonna be formed up without any distances and intervals, which is very convenient for formation flying. 2 seconds left and 0 seconds start second turn. A little bit less extra manifold pressure this time, pulling up. She's gonna accelerate, watch bank angle 15 degrees. She's stabilized. You can allow yourself to look around, but still we need to throttling back. My altitude is quite high. I didn't watch it. Okay, 330. Manifold pressure you need to set up very precisely. That would be difficult. .4 is okay, and as you can see, I've got 300 feet altitude more than I need. I should have 800, and I've got 1100 indicated. That's too much. That's my mistake. But nevertheless, I'm gonna proceed with those settings. Third left 90-degree turn is gonna be start time plus 13 minutes. My start time was 57 minutes plus 13 minutes is gonna be 10 minutes. So as you can see, very convenient stopwatch panel, watch panel, watch gauge, not like in Mosquito over there. So I've got 3 minutes left till third left 90-degree turn. Unfortunately, I'm not able to draw my route to show you where I am. I am right over there. I did take off over there. I flew right here, turn left over here, turn left over there, and now I'm somewhere there, flying straight and level, and somewhere over Southampton I'm gonna turn left once again. I've lost 3 degrees of heading. That's unacceptable, that's my mistake, I should watch it. Let's set up 0 bank angle. Engine's very cool. Let's shut it down a little bit. So my airspeed is quite high. I can say I'm not quite stabilized, but I don't want to do any corrections, any adjustments, because soon I'm gonna complete my formation pattern and I'm gonna start climbing with heading, I think, 045. I'm gonna get myself into this area on Halsmer. Somewhere in that area I'm gonna turn right to the 090. Once again I need to adjust rudder trim settings. Let's make it 85. It was 84. 85 is good for that fuel capacity, for that air speeds. I'm still heavy, I've still got a lot of fuel behind. Pilot's back, 45 gallons at least, and 2 full wing. Wing tanks, but you see left tank is not full for some reason. Okay, that's once again my mistake. I need to practice more. That's the second time on a row I did that mistake. I've missed my third left turn timing. That's a very big mistake because of lack of experience. I should practice with that P-40 more. But still 10 seconds doesn't make any difference, but still that was a mistake. I should watch it. And 240 level up. Manifold pressure is a little bit high. I need to reduce. 19.2 is gonna be okay. Maybe not enough. Let's wait and see. I've got 35 seconds till force left turn, so I'm not gonna adjust any power settings. Fine weather, I can see my airfield from there. 10 seconds till left turn. And turn left. A little bit extra, a little bit additional manifold pressure. Pull up a little bit, she's pitching nose down, throttle back, let her lose a little bit altitude, not a big deal. Airspeed is a key for everything in stabilized flying. Airspeed is a key. I had not enough banking angle. Let's increase it a little bit and set 15 degrees. That was my mistake. Oh, another mistake. I should start my force left turn 10 seconds later. I didn't count on that. That is not a mistake. But still, I'm quite good. Not far from airfield. Of course, not ideal. We got 0 wind speed. So as you can see, I'm to the left of landing runway. If I didn't do that mistake, I would be right exactly on that runway. That's a formation pattern complete, and after that you start route flying. And first you're gonna make left turn to heading 045. That's almost 90-degree left turn. If you had a formation, if I would perform that flying within the group, we would have spread abreast formation with about 250 meters intervals. That's 3 speeds, 3 air speeds. My airspeed is about 80 meters, if I'm correct. Anyway, 90 degrees turn is gonna require 3 seconds delay. So that wind or that airplane which is on the outer side of turn, I mean right side in this case, is gonna start turning 3 seconds earlier, and I would start 3 seconds later, and we would maintain our abreast frontal formation, side formation after completing this turn. Okay, transition into climbing. Technochart on, plus 5%, RPM to 72%, changing rudder trim settings to standard, and aileron to 0, plus 5% more. She's pitching nose up. When she's pitching nose down, plus 5% more. Quite okay, everything's good. Heading is okay, plus 5% more. I wait until she is pitching nose down. And 70, technochat off, I don't need it, and immediately power up. 26.7, I gonna need to adjust a little bit more, but I've got a little bit excessive airspeed, so I let her stabilize a little bit, and then now I'm adjusting. That was 26.7, now it's 27.4, and that's enough for such quite hot weather. I'm climbing stabilized. That's very convenient for your heading, maintain your heading, very convenient for formation flying, very convenient for close formation flying, very convenient for line abreast formation flying. And I've got 500 feet more to climb. Then I'm gonna do transition into straight and level flight. 300 feet is enough for me. 3000 feet, Angel 3, or how Navy pilots call it. That's enough. That's gonna be my altitude for starting altitude for AAA suppression pattern. Technochat on, minus 10% elevator trim, RPM back to 43%, radar trim settings back to 84 or 85, one aileron trim on right wing, minus 5% elevator trim, wait, correct our heading, wait until she's pitching nose up, minus 5% more. Heading is okay, 145, she's pitching up, minus 5% more. And she's pitching up, minus 5% more. Technochat off. I don't need it anymore. When she's gonna pitch nose up, I'm gonna push throttle back, pull throttle back, and okay, more or less stabilized. 19.1 manifold pressure. That's not enough, or maybe enough. Let's wait and see. If it's not gonna be enough, I'm gonna maintain. I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna do small corrections. For straight and level flight, you don't need constant corrections. And I've got time. My P-40 is almost stabilized. I've got time to find where I am. Very little pond beneath my left wing. So that could be that pond in 0606.5. West Meon is on my 12 o'clock. Horndin is on my 3 o'clock. Watch it. Yes, some down on my 3 o'clock. I'm not able to see anything on my 2 o'clock. Let's watch that pond. It has very specific shape. Yes, that's, and the road crossing that point 0606. I am in 0606.9, 0507.1. I lost my heading, I knew that. Some corrections, let's say 84. I need to do 83 because I changed my elevator trimming from 2 to 1. So let it be 83%. And my heading's gonna be okay. P-40 is gonna be absolutely stabilized. That's very convenient for route flying, for even in single flying, and when you fly within the group, when you've got some formation, you need to maintain that formation. You need, as a leader, you need to make that easier for your wingman. Still my P-40 isn't stabilized for some reason. So I need to choose my next terrain feature. New Alresford is gonna be okay, but I'm not able to see it. Oh, that's probably that Westmeon. And Alton is gonna be on my 12 o'clock, and Lasham airfield. Airfield is very good terrain feature. Let's wait. Unfortunately, you're not able to do proper paintings, proper work with your navigation charts in this game. That's a very bad feature. Ugly and shame feature of this game. I'm not able to see any airfield. That city, that village must be Basingstoke, or that Alton. Yes, probably that is Alton. Yes, probably that is Alton, and I've got those small lakes over there. Those are that lakes, so I'm somewhere over here. That is Alton. Ahead of me, watch my heading. Heading is quite okay. That is Alton. I've got some road. And Hasselmer is gonna be on my 2 o'clock, far away. Yes, I see it. Hasselmer is gonna be a very good terrain feature, very good landmark. And I think I'm gonna turn, yes, we got no any wind shifting on this map. Wind is 0, wind speed is 0, so I'm gonna fly to the north of Hasselmer and turn left to 090 heading, and then I'm gonna proceed to the Ashford or even to Dover and turn left at St. Margaret's Cliff. I intend to simulate long route flying. I love it. Some important detail about P-40: I'm burning fuel in my back fuel tank. That's why even if I do not change my elevator trim settings, she's pitching nose down, and because of pitching nose down, she needs a little bit more airspeed for stabilized flying. You can see that I'm losing altitude, and now I'm gonna start my left turn, extra power, banking left, right turn, banking right. After completing that turn, I'm gonna adjust my power settings, so I'm gonna add a little bit. I had 19.3, 19.2 manifold pressure, 19.3 inches. Let's say I need about 19.6. That's gonna be tricky to fine-tune that manifold pressure value, very tricky. But in P40, oh, let's see, 19.6 I think, 19.55 manifold pressure I managed to set. Let's wait and see how my P40 is gonna behave self, and that climb, that vertical speed indicator is gonna be on 0 and it's gonna be stationary. If not, I gonna close my radiator cowl flaps a little bit. I don't need it, maybe I'm gonna need to open a little bit. Let's open 35, 34, because that's 19.6 is a little bit too much for now, but still she is losing fuel, she is burning fuel behind pilot's back. That fuel tank is behind pilot's back. That's why balance works in such a manner. She is pitching her nose down a little bit, very slowly, and she needs more and more airspeed for stabilized flying because of that. Even regardless, I do not touch my elevator trim settings, I do not pull, stick or push it. And another feature, if you gonna try to stabilize your airplane, your P40, on such changing conditions because of losing fuel behind your back, so don't be very hard on you. She's changing airspeed, she's constantly changing, very slowly changing required airspeed, so don't be too hard on you while trying to pick up that power and that airspeed which gonna make your P40 absolutely stabilized. Now my vertical speed is a little bit too high. I'm a little bit faster than I need for stabilized flying, but I've got no intention to make any adjustments, because I know I'm burning fuel behind pilot's back, she's pitching nose down, and very soon that a little bit excessive airspeed is gonna be exactly what I need. And I think a little some 10 or 12 minutes later I even gonna need to add a little bit or to close my cowl flaps. That's very convenient to increase your airspeed just a little bit. But anyway, now I'm quite stabilized. I've got 40-50 seconds spare with no touching any stick or with no making any corrections to her heading. That's very convenient for group leader and very convenient for wingman, for second flight leader or third flight leader if you big group leader, and allows you a lot of time to look around, to watch for enemy airplanes, to find where you are. Such a great terrain feature, such a great airfield. I know I've passed Hasselmer for about 2 or 3 minutes ago, and that's Tan's fault. Airfield and some pond, I could see that I'm just over there. 0411.9.6, I'm entering 0412.7.4. And next terrain feature is gonna be Crowley on my 1 o'clock, and I gonna notice that road with a railroad. And watch our heading is 089, which is absolutely fine. My margin I give to myself is plus minus 1 degree. I've lost some minutes, some 60 seconds to explain you that navigation features, and I didn't lost my heading. That's very good, very stable. P-40 is very stable airplane. That's why I love good weather, without turbulence, without any wind. For example, A20 Boston bomber is not so stable. She's losing heading quite violently. Mosquito is stable, but I'm not experienced in Mosquito, and for now I'm losing heading a little bit more than on P-40. But P-40 is very good. P-51 is magnificent. P-51 holds heading is very good. And I think P-47, I don't fly with P-47. P-38 is gonna be good, and Wildcat and Hellcat is gonna be very, very good in that part of controlling airplane. I think that depends of wind profile, some construction design features of your airplane. Now I'm very that's very clear. Crowley is on my 1 o'clock, but I didn't notice, or I've noticed that road and railroad. That railroad or road could be very, very valuable, very, very important terrain feature. Some range you crossing, that's gonna be very valuable for example, low visibility route flying. If you do flying with your timing, you can use such great terrain features as some range. You can see it's absolutely ideally from north to south, and no matter in which point you crossing it, that's a very good terrain feature for your navigation, because you're gonna mark right timing when you cross that range. That's gonna allow you to find where you are and to start your stopwatch counting timing for your next turn. That's very, very important for navigation in low visibility conditions. That's Crowley town. You can double check it with looking to your left. That's Harley and some small ponds around the Crowley, some road junctions, crossroads, which gonna allow you to double check your position of what. And I need to choose my next terrain feature. That's gonna be East Greenstead. That East Greenstead's gonna be visible on my 10 for now. I've lost 2 degrees of heading. I make corrections. Look, just as I predicted, my manifold pressure 19.6 is not enough already. I'm losing altitude, so my procedure is gonna be increase my power about 0.5-0.6 inch and open my, okay, that's 20.1, that's gonna be too much, and I'm gonna open my cowl shutters a little bit. I like when airplane is absolutely stabilized because it's very convenient for your route flying. I don't use unrealistic auto level at all. I don't need it, as you can see. Okay, that's East Greenstead and Royal Tunbridge Wells. And Tunbridge is gonna be my next terrain feature. Once again, that road and those 2 very big towns is a very good terrain feature for ranging. So you can cross it over here, over there, over here, and that's regardless of where you crossed that, you've got some range you're crossing. That's very convenient for navigation with timing. Some guys do not understand that, and they watch for any objects like crossroads or small town or any even big town, but on practice that those objects doesn't help you a lot in your navigation. The best object is like this road or like this shoreline, so you don't need to watch your left right error. You just that allows you to make right timing on your ranging. So if you choose some dot, some point object, that's not convenient. That may cause you troubles, may cause a navigation error. And when you've got elongated terrain feature on some terrain object like canal or straight shoreline, stint, or such a road like this, or big towns over there, you've got some range terrain feature which is much more convenient for your navigation purposes. As you can see, that Royal Tunbridge is on my 1 o'clock and Tunbridge is on my 10 o'clock. Royal Tunbridge is on my 12 actually. Very well. Ashford is somewhere close already I don't, I will not go to Dover. I'm afraid of AI bots which could appear over there in Calais. I don't need any fighting with them. I just need simple route flying. And I've still got plenty of time. I like it. That's once again simulation of route flying. I like to have targets far away from my airfield. Let's count. That's gonna be 50 kilometers, another 4, and my range is gonna be about 300 kilometers, 200 miles. That's very good. P-40 allows you to work on such a great range, but making it back to base is gonna be much more trickier. On my RTB route flying, I gonna switch my mixture on auto lean. I could make it switch even now, but maybe that's gonna sound silly, but auto lean enables high temperature in cylinders, so auto lean isn't such a good thing for reliability of your engine as auto reach. Of course, this game doesn't concern with that reliability, but I like realistic, every realistic way of gaming. So real pilots, I'm sure they would use auto reach instead of auto lean, because higher temperatures in cylinders gonna cause your engine less reliable, to be less reliable. Even 4 hours mission on that server isn't enough for good long range strafing mission. I like it. P-40 is very good. I didn't touch my controls for about 2 minutes, and my heading, look at that, 090. Great airplane, great stabilized airplane. I should find where I am. I'm approaching to Ashford. Those small ponds, any airfields, that's a great airfield, and small town to the northeast of that airfield, that's gonna be Staplehurst. And Headcorn, I gonna see railway crossing over there, I should see, and I gonna see Lashendin airfield and Headcorn airfield over there, just as I thought. So I should be somewhere here, 0419.4. And that small pond and the road should be 0418.3. So I'm 0419.5, I think. High Halden is gonna be on my 12 o'clock. Yes, I see the edge of that airfield. That airfield is beneath my canopy. I'm not able to see it. Let's set up 0 bank angle to maintain heading, to let myself not to watch instrument panel for some time. And next terrain feature is gonna be Ashford. Ashford is gonna be on my 11. I can see it. I'm gonna turn right when Ashford is gonna be closer than that. And the next terrain feature is gonna be that shoreline. I'm gonna fly to the south for some time. So my range is not less than 350 kilometers. That's great ranging. I'm not sure I'm gonna able to make it back. Anyway, because I like to do return to base route flying on a level deck, on a low level deck. That's for stealthy purposes. So lower your fly, more fuel you need to you need to burn. So I probably gonna need to start do some fuel savings already. Okay, let's make it. Auto lean engaged. Okay, auto lean, and I need to adjust power settings a little bit. My cylinder temperature is gonna be higher, engine's gonna be warmer, but I'm gonna need higher manifold pressure to maintain straight and level flight. But still, that's a auto lean is a good way to conserve your fuel, to save your fuel. That's a fuel saving issue, which is good. I know by my experience I'm not gonna have enough fuel. The worst thing is I'm not gonna have enough time. But okay, I will not strafe that target too long. I will do only 2 AAA suppression patterns passes. I'm turning 180 to the south. That's a 90-degree right turn. I just need to practice a little bit on P-40. Unfortunately, we got a Finnish server. Finnish server tomorrow evening's gonna give you P-40, but atrocious turbulence on that server and absence of any columns on that server is not good. So Sunday evening it's not a good time for me to play. Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning if you watch in US or UK or on Western Europe. It's morning for you. It's already afternoon in Russia. It's much more convenient for me, convenient timing for me. So I would like to play as I wanted right here and right now, but unfortunately multiplayer doesn't allow that. So let's pick up new manifold pressure settings. I've got 22.2. That's a little bit more than I need. Let's make it 22.0. 21.9. My throttle lever doesn't allow me to fine-tune that value. That's unfortunate. Well, 21.8, let's say, that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna shut my cowl flaps a little bit. Engine is cold. Engine is cool. I'm not worrying about overheating. And let's wait and see how vertical speed gauge indicator is gonna behave. If I did everything right, it's gonna be stationary on 0. If it's moving, I didn't do everything right. I should adjust, add some airspeed or decrease some airspeed with my power settings. That could be tricky because you're not able to fine-tune your manifold pressure. No, I need to open a little bit. Open my cowl flaps. Let's not forget to switch mixture to auto reach when I'm gonna start my strafing. Just as I thought, I've got a little bit more than I need airspeed. I'm gonna deal with it with opening cowl shutters a little bit. And now my vertical speed is gonna be 0, absolutely stationary indicator. That's very convenient because you've got less heading losing tendency, less banking tendency when you're absolutely stabilized, or you've got even 0 banking tendency. That's okay. That's stabilized flying. And somewhere here. No more terrain features for me anymore. I'm gonna move south and turn right once again on a 270 heading. 180, perfect heading, perfect stabilized, perfect level, 0 banking angle, 0 bank angle, perfect airplane, and my fuel flow is less. I'm gonna save a lot of fuel, but in case of realistic physics or realistic gameplay, I wouldn't save my engine resource. You can see I'm banking left a little bit. I need to adjust, or maybe not. Absolutely perfect, absolutely stabilized. I love it. Yes, I need to adjust because it's 179. I don't need that heading indicator. I can see it. I switch it off just for you to see that. I can see it clearly with my how you say it, with my gyro heading indicator. And now that's gonna be 181, not 180. Let's check it. Yes, 181. I need to switch. I need to turn left a little bit. That's clearly visible for me. And then I level up once again. So my approach line is gonna be, trajectory is gonna be somewhere there. So eastbourne beachhead should be on my 4 o'clock, none less than that. How do you like that straight and level flying? I have my altitude plus minus 50 feet. That's very, very, very precise, very good. When you're training and doing takeoff circle and landing, you've got plus minus 150 margin, 50 feet margin. And now I've got 3 times less margin. That's very precise, very good. And very convenient because airplane is stabilized. She maintains that altitude by herself. I don't need to interfere. I just need to set up my straight and level stabilized flying attitude. Okay, I think it's time to right turn. I will not add any extra power. I'm gonna let her lose altitude. That's also quite different technique, but you need to watch your vertical speed indicator so she doesn't lose too much altitude, because that's gonna cause increased airspeed, and you need to maintain exact airspeed for straight and level, stabilized straight and level flight. So when I level up, when I complete my turn, she's not gonna pitch nose up or pitch nose down. But still, because I didn't add some extra power, I needed to lose some altitude to accelerate. As you can see, I had a climbing tendency and I had pitch nose up tendency, so I had too much airspeed. That's because I've lost too much altitude. Exactly the same I've been talking about. I've made that small mistake because she's stabilized already. That was very small mistake, but that was a mistake. 270 heading. I just loved such a long range, long boring. For some guys it's boring, not boring for me. Long missions, that's great. Unfortunately my route flying is simulated. I would like to start somewhere to the north of London and to strafe some targets over here. P-40 does allow that, really allows such a long range target destroying. Great airplane. And while strafing that simulated target, I hope I'm gonna train my skills. I hope I'm not gonna crash. And let's hope I'm gonna have enough time and enough fuel to make it home. I'm gonna repeat that route once again, but that's gonna be on a low level altitude. So I'm gonna perform low deck flying. That's gonna be quite tricky for me to choose the right moment for left turn on 000 heading, but let's wait and see. First of all I need to complete my route flying. That's gonna be the end of my route flying, somewhere there, and that's gonna be entering combat area. My AAA suppression pattern, suppression run is gonna be 030 heading, and in initial point of that run you need to have heading plus minus 90 degree, so you able to see your target on your 2 o'clock, on your 10 o'clock, almost 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. That's very important for good ranging. Good ranging is very important, just like on landing approach. Strafing flak units pattern is also very important for your survivability. So that means I should have such a trajectory on a Shanklin with a 300 heading. That means I gonna need to pick right timing to turn 300. That's right 30 degrees turn. And for, as I can see right now, I'm not even over here. I probably somewhere to the north of my predicted trajectory. So my trajectory is gonna be on 1008, 1, 2, 3. And what I can say, I'm somewhere some 10 kilometers to the north probably. So when I gonna see that Newport Island, I gonna check that much more correctly. I need to wait. That island, oh, it's already visible. It's already visible, but I can confirm I'm a little bit more to the north. I'm gonna be able to correct that. I didn't touch any control of my airplane for about 2.5 minutes for now. 270 heading, 271 for now, or 271, and absolutely fine, stabilized, 0 vertical speed. Now I'm touching my stick to turn left a little bit, and I level up once again. Absolutely fine, stabilized attitude. Very convenient, and I would like to fly close formation with somebody who practice that stabilized flying, but only maybe in my dreams, because I wouldn't be able to find any player who's gonna be agree to fly so slowly. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm sorry for that expression. Community is not the best community we have, unfortunately. Let's watch our timing. I'm about 1 hour of flight time already, so I'm gonna have very few, not more than 35 minutes to strafe, about 10 minutes to suppress my AAA, and I'm gonna need to turn back. That's very bad. 4 hours missions should be okay, but still that's not okay for me. I need 6 hours. Clash of Eagles were great server without any great ground or sea targets, but with 19 or 20 hours mission, that was very good. Unfortunately, that server not functional now. You can't find it in multiplayer. And just as I predicted, historical air war training server, they switched it off. I wouldn't curse on them, but I had great training server where I could use my technochat I needed, and I could strafe vehicle columns on P-40. of course, that server I had range about 120-140 kilometers, and my range this time is 360 at least kilometers. I like that much more than such a close range, but imagine those players who sick of 80-90 kilometers range. They need target to be much closer. I respect that. Each player should have game configuration just exactly as he wants that. So some guys need very far targets and some guys need very close targets. That's normal. You need to give users some instruments to make their own settings in their game for their gameplay. Unfortunately, that we got no such instruments, and I'm sure, 100% sure, we will not ever have such instruments. That's unfortunate, but once again, forgive me for that ugly expression. It is what it is. Our community, not a great, not the best community we could have. And some members of community even take away from us such servers like historical air war training server. It used to have Technochat on it. They changed it, and now you don't have Technochat on it. So it's not training already. It's the same as combat mission. As you can see, my flying is the most realistic flying you can find in multiplayer. I need Technochat, but only some brief moments of using Technochat because I need precise trim settings and RPM settings. There is no great RPM indicator, not convenient on this airplane, but even I can use RPM gauge. That's gonna be okay with me. That's gonna be inconvenient, but still I'm gonna use. But trim settings, I know P-40 got very good trim, rudder and elevator trim tops, but still you need to deflect your view from your nose position, from your vertical speed and airspeed gauges to that trim tops, and watch how you moved it, how you adjusted it, that top, to set fine-tuning. That's unrealistic. I can say this top definitely had clicks, P-51 top also had clicks. So even with Lak 3 or Lavочка or Il2 trim tops, which doesn't have any clicks or any gauges, any marks, you can feel the amount of tap movement of that control surfaces movement. Hi Gimpel, привет Gimpel. Gimpel in chat. I said hello to Gimpel. That's Russian speaking player. He's very good in dogfighting, but he play DCS mostly. Unfortunately, he doesn't play Ил2 Great Battles. No. How Gimpel? Привет Gimpel. I saw he greeted me in chat. Probably that was long ago. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that. He says, I'm a great fan of P-40. Yes, I am. That's a great airplane. I love it. That's P-40 was main United States Army Air Force pursuit and fighter airplane, just as Yak-1 and Yak-9 were in Soviet Army Air Force. Of course, Yak-1 and Yak-9 are much more capable fighters in this game, but that's only because P-40's got very weak thrust to weight ratio. Just like one player that was Dudley Hill said, he's Desert Storm veteran, real F-16 or F-15 United States Air Force pilot, and he once said P-40 was a Messerschmitt 109 kilo. I agree that 100%. With normal engine power, this engine is about 36 or 1937. Even in 1938 that engine was outdated, so in 1939 that engine, P-40 engine, was completely outdated. With such a weak engine, any airplane, 109, Yak-1, Yak-9, any airplane wouldn't be good. So P-40 is a great airplane, great strafing and bombing platform, great pursuit airplane, but of course with such a weak engine you're not able to do anything. So I love P-40, that's a great airplane. Main United States Air Force pursuit and fighter plane, just like Yak-1 and Yak-9 in Soviet Air Force. So I am approaching to my combat phased initial position. Let's see where I am. That small bay is on my 12th, so I need to shift left a little bit, turning left, 30 degree left turn. My new heading is gonna be 240. I had too much extra power, that was my mistake. I'm gonna shift a little bit to the left and then turn right once again, 30 degrees right turn on 270, and then I'm gonna make that 30-degree right turn once again on new heading 300, and that's gonna be my approach heading to the AAA suppression pattern initial point. That point has got approach straight. Here is that straight. Here is that point. That point I'm gonna brake right on and start strafing. Of course, there will not be any flak units over there. I'm gonna use the first truck as a simulated flak unit, and that I'm gonna need for practicing purposes. That's a completely practice mission, not combat mission. I needed to refresh my skills, my memories. I had major mistake. I didn't in the very beginning, before engine start, I didn't push my proper propeller pitch level forward. That mistake I made for the second time in a row. So there is a lot of there are a lot of parts of mission, a lot of mission parts which you need to do well, do properly, and to do them well, to do those parts well, you need to practice. Okay, switch our mixture to the auto reach switched. 70% open. Radiator 72%. RPM and 30 inches. Manifold pressure. Elevator trim down. Now I've completed transition into combat mode. That's a combat mode standard for me. I can see I got a little bit side sleep. But that's okay. I will disregard that. So now I'm somewhere over here. I'm gonna pick up a moment for right 30 degrees turn. That turn is gonna be combat mode turn with a 45-degree bank angle. Great approach, I would, if I say so for myself. Great approach, that was good. It was good left shifting, good route flying. That's all very important for your approach. Approach is important for good initial point picking up, and when initial point is right, your AAA suppression pattern is going to be right either, and that's very important for your survivability and for your efficiency. Turning right, probably too early. I've gained altitude a little bit. I should lose it. Yes, too early. Turning back left. That was too early. That's not a big problem. great approach, great approach. I can see the target area, and soon turning left. Turn left, 300, my new heading. Now I use gyro heading indicator, and this is magnetic heading indicator. Magnetic is magnetic has small delay, but it always functional, and after big G's, gyro indicator isn't functional, unfortunately. I have correct my track IR settings, and now I'm approaching suppression, approaching my ground target. I gonna simulate triple A suppression pattern, suppression run. I'm a little bit too close, a little bit to the right. You don't need to perform a wave, and all Il2 you needed to do that. This game flag units behave differently. Not a good pattern, not a good, very unnecessary risky and evasive maneuvering. Simulated evasive maneuvering. Adjust our manifold pressure. Try not to collide with a tree. And 210 is my egress heading. 210 I've got on magnetic course, and immediately I start combat rejoin pattern. Base, that's a circle pattern. I will not explain it because it's too hard to explain. Base heading is 300, 300 base turn. I'm gonna perform 180 turn, and then about 25-30 seconds straight and level flying, and once again 180 turn. That's a combat rejoin pattern, very convenient for a group formation after any activities which required breaking group. For example, you need to have a column with a long distances between airplanes. You need to form up once again. You use rejoin combat pattern. And after I complete 180 turn on 300, I'm gonna do transition into climbing attitude. So I'm gonna reduce speed, adjust trim settings, 300 heading, technochat on, reduce to 15 manifold pressure, add some trimmer, rudder trim corrections, and watch our stopwatch, our timing a little bit more. And now I'm turning left. Because of a low engine power, I'm slowing down, and when it's gonna be 150 miles per hour, I'm gonna pull up and airplane's gonna be stabilized in climbing attitude. To 120 heading, pull up, at manifold pressure 27.5. She's stabilized. Adjusting heading corrections 1 to 0. That's important for group flying, because this part, this element, this maneuver enables you to gain altitude for the next attempt. Some flag units could be very tricky. You need altitude to survive those AAA. I gonna climb until 1500 feet indicated, and then I'm gonna start 15-degree bank angle right turn. She's quite stabilized. I've got no any damages. She's stabilized, which is very convenient for formation flying. You've got time to watch behind, watch your 6, and turning right. When I complete this turn, I'm gonna have about 25-30 feet altitude, so about 3000 feet altitude, and then I'm gonna level up, set up combat mode once again, and break right for another strafing attempt. But for now I'm turning right. That's 180 turn on new heading 300. I had 120 heading, and now it's 300. Add some extra power for stabilized. Watch our altitude, it's already 2500 feet. That's very good. Altitude is crucial part of AAA suppression pattern on P-40. P-40 is quite slow. And when it's 300 heading, level up, add power, change trimming, okay, and wait for right time, brake right. If I would be within the group, not single airplane, that brake right pattern would all planes would perform that with a 5 seconds delay. That's gonna add you some time to see where the previous airplane had his strafing, which flag unit has he strafed right now, and you can choose your aiming point. Maybe 5 seconds is not enough, maybe more, maybe less, but that brake pattern is very convenient for group flying. So you need to approach that brake point with your heading 90 degrees plus minus your combat heading. I didn't destroy that first vehicle. Let's try once again. Never perform head-to-head. Oh, great, that was a great hit. No more AAA suppression pattern, evasive maneuvering. Now I'm gonna perform once again rejoin pattern, and I'm gonna start strafing. I've got 35-40 minutes for that. Once again 1-2-0 heading, and with left turn, with right turn I start my rejoin circling. (300) heading, I watch it on my magnetic compass. This compass, not this. Just as I said, this gyro compass is heading indicator, gyro heading indicator is becomes not functional because of high G's. Okay, I'm not gonna repeat formation pattern. I'm gonna start approach, strafing approach immediately without any formation pattern. Now I'm gonna, my target is over here. My base heading, attack heading is gonna be 300, and my approach heading is gonna be 300 plus minus 90 degrees, so it should be 030. And I need to pick up right timing for that. Turning on 030. I'm turning right now. That's gonna be my approach way. Unfortunately, I'm not able to paint it on a navigation chart. And while moving 030, I gonna get visual on my target and pick up a moment of left turn. And then moving with my base heading 300, flying right over the target, I gonna start circling. I gonna do couple circles, adjust some circle, so I call it shifting, 3/4 or 1/4 shifting. Now I can see I gonna need at least 3 or 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 3/4 shifting. I will not explain why, that's very difficult to explain. 3/4 is a 270 degrees after beginning my turn. My base heading is 300 plus or minus 270 degrees, so 3/4 gonna be 030. 1/4 is 210, 1/4 is now 2/4 is 120, 3/4 is 030, and base once again is 300. So on 3/4 that's 030. I'm gonna level up and flight straight and level about 3 or 4 seconds to push my circle to the north, to the right, to the head of the column. Okay, 4 seconds left, and I proceed with my turn. Adjust some elevator trim. That was ideal. That's my base point. Absolutely ideal. So next turn is gonna be profiled. turn. That was flat circling, and next circling is gonna be without firing but profiled. What I mean profiled? On certain heading I gonna start climbing. That's heading gonna be 075. That's gonna be profiled circle. So 080 I level up, and 075 I start climbing. Watch my vertical speed. It should be 2500 3000 feet per minute, and my target altitude is about 150 200 feet. I climb 1000 feet over the target and start turning with 45-degree bank angle and adjusting my elevator trim just like that. Watch my airspeed. It should be not less than 140 miles per hour. Nose down, turn to the target, level up. She's stabilized. She's gonna start climbing by herself very slowly. When she stops climbing, I pull up, maybe even earlier. I gonna pull up earlier, and 110 miles per hour I dive. As you can see, that approach is quite shallow approach. I will not fire this time because I had not enough airspeed when I started climbing. So this time I gonna have enough airspeed, and this circle is gonna be profiled and firing circle. I hope I didn't do anything wrong. I needed 1/4 shift. I didn't do 1/4 shift, but I think I'm gonna be okay with my initial strafing pass point. Once again, 080 level up, 075 climbing. Watch our vertical speed. Trim down, trim up, trim up. Watch our altitude. Trim down, trim up. 1200 feet altitude. I'm gonna start turning. Start turning. Adjust elevator trim. Maximum -1 circle. Pull up. Airspeed should be between 140 and 150 miles per hour. And okay. Our target is at 12 o'clock. And now I'm waiting until she stops climbing herself. Then I'm gonna pull. Altitude is okay. She stops climbing. I pull up until airspeed indicated 110 miles per hour. Then I dive. Not the greatest, quite shallow approach, but I gonna strafe. That was a hit, not a convergence. I was a little bit too late, but still, that was a hit. Quite shallow strafing pass, strafing run, unfortunately. I hope next gonna be better. Okay, I've got enough fuel, enough time, but 25 minutes more and I need to return to base. So I need to strafe them good. I use standard circle and strafing pattern. I like it. That's valuable for group flying. Very convenient for group flying. Once again, I'm watching my vertical speed. I'm constantly adjusting my elevator trim, and when it's 1200 feet indicated, I'm turning, adjusting elevator trim maximum -1 round. Watch our airspeed, airspeed too much, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, target is ahead, I see the target, okay. Great approach, level up, level up. She's gonna be stabilized, then she's gonna climb herself, she's gonna pitch nose up herself. When she stops pitching up, I pull up, I pull stick up, climbing a little bit more until indicated airspeed is 110. She stops climbing, I pull up very gently until 110 and dive. And adjust that approach is much better. Adjust elevator trim, adjust. That was a good hit, I think. I didn't destroy it. I need to adjust my... That was a good approach, but not a good gunnery. Not a good. I've adjusted my rudder trim a little bit to the left. Not a good gunnery. Okay, let's try once again. I could have much longer burst, but I like short bursts. That's important for efficiency, accuracy, for saving your ammunition, which is vital for P-40. And once again, watching our vertical speed. Heading is okay, altitude is okay, turning, adjusting elevator trim, maximum -1 round. When I start diving, I adjust elevator trim very hard to the descending. Oh, that was great. Damage model. That vehicle is done. Next vehicle. She's pitching nose up very gently by herself. When she stops pitching up, I pull up until indicated airspeed 110, and that's gonna be great start point. Quite shallow approach, but that's okay anyway. I was too late. I need to adjust rudder trim a little bit more. Let's do it 63. I was too late because of that. But you need practice for that. For good skills, you need practicing. That's why I'm here. I love P-40. I'm adjusting elevator trim constantly I do not touch, I do not pull stick, push or pull stick. I use elevator trim. I don't need technochat for that. Level up. She starts climbing. Elevator trim down. Trim up, trim up, trim up, trim up. Heading is okay. Trim down, trim down. Trim up, trim up. Heading is okay. Vertical speed is okay. Trim up. Altitude is okay. Good. Start turning. Adjusting elevator trim. Watch our airspeed. That was too low. Now it's okay. Watch our target and level up. She's stabilized. She starts pitching up very slowly. When she stops, I pull up myself. She stops, I pull up myself very gently, not to be very early on diving, so my trajectory is gonna be quite steep. I like it. Very bad hit, very bad gunnery. But approach was excellent. With maintaining the same procedure, good approach is automatically achievable, but good gunnery, you need to practice, you need to train that. I saw I was a little bit to the left with my aiming point, but still that's better to aim engine compartment, cabin, or even into the middle of that vehicle, and I was aiming to the back of that vehicle. That was my mistake, that was bad of me, that was my bad. Let's deal with it this time. Do something with that. Okay, watch our airspeed, pull up a little bit, 140, enough, pull down, push back, and level up. She's stabilized, and the same procedure once again. She's climbing gently herself, by herself. When she stops, pitching nose up, I pull up myself very gently, not too fast, and I've got sufficient altitude and dive. This approach gonna be steeper, gonna be shallower. That was a good hit. That was convergence point. That's what I call the good gunnery. That was a good hit. I loved it. You need to have good, proper approach, proper strafing run, and then it's much more easier for you to have a good firing. For inexperienced players, for tired players, for players who were distracted, that's always very, very valuable, very relevant for group flying. So I like simple procedures I love like anything. I use anything which makes your procedures much more simple and that affects your efficiency, survivability, and in the end of the day your fun, you can feel positive emotions, you can feel from that game. And P-40 is a great machine gun platform for that purposes. Great airplane. I love it. Once again, repeat our approach. Last time I was a little bit shallower, so I was a little bit earlier on diving. Let's wait a little bit more this time and pull up a little bit slower, and then we're gonna have steep strafing run, much more steeper. Yes, it's much more steep. That excellent, I would say excellent. Oh, that wasn't a good run. I've touched stick and moved my aiming point down a little bit. That was bad, but still not a very bad strafing run. Approach was excellent, ideal. Gunnery wasn't ideal. Once again, I needed to adjust to the right a little bit. I didn't do that. That was bad of me. That was my bad. Let's fix it next time. With such a procedure, you even got time to look around, to watch for enemy contacts. Trim up. Even if you made a mistake with your trimming, you can do small corrections, not a big deal. Watch our airspeed, do not pull too much. Nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down, okay. Leveling up. She's stabilized. That's some double check of your attitude, of your settings, of your airspeed. Before to double checking it for you, pulling up. I might be too close this time. I will not wait and dive. Yes, I was too close. Another perfect approach. Trim down. Ah, that was a miss. That was a miss. I needed just. That was a perfect approach, but I needed to adjust elevator trim down a little bit. That was a miss. That was my bad. Another mistake. I could have that truck, that vehicle in convergence point, and that would cause it to explode. But I've made a mistake. Let's fix it. Perfect approach. That was perfect strafing run. I wasn't too late. I wasn't too early on diving. Let's repeat it this time. Trim down, trim down, trim down. That was too much. Trim up, trim up, trim up. Trim down. all those vertical speeds and trimming and airspeed right now is important for right trajectory, right profile, right route of your circle. That allows you to have standard diving initial point, and when that diving initial point is right, you've got right strafing run, convenient, efficient. I'm gonna have shallow approach this time, but that's okay. Shallow approach is a good approach also. Once again, I'm overshooting once again, the same mistake. I maintain constant 45 degrees bank angle and I'm trying to be low level. That's for survivability. Trim down, trim up, look around, trim down, trim up. No enemy airplanes. Watch altitude. Heading is okay. Vertical speed is okay. Altitude is okay. Start turning. Climbing turn. Adjusting elevator trim. Maximum -1 circle. Watch our airspeed. It should be less than that. Watch our target. Level up. She's stabilized. She's pitching up, pitching nose up. She stops pitching nose up. I pull up gently myself until 110 indicated airspeed. And then dive. Quite shallow approach once again. I should wait a little bit more. Oh, that was the third attempt. That car exploded. Was a good hit, but not ideal. Once again, I had my left shifting. I know how to deal with that. I'm gonna switch rudder trim to 61. That was 63. Let it be 61. Okay. Once again, real pilot in real P-40 cockpit gonna feel with his hand trimmed up movement. I'm not able to adjust it properly without techno chat. Trim up, trim up, trim up, trim down, trim down. Altitude is okay. Turning, adjusting elevator trim. watch airspeed. I feel burnt. I have less fuel. I am burning fuel, and P-40's behavior changed because of that. I've got a lot of time, 10 minutes left, and I'm gonna start to return to base. She's changing her behavior because of getting lighter. Oh, that's a great steep approach, perfect approach. Trim down, trim down, trim down. Great hit, great hit. That's what I call good gunnery. Great approach, great hit. Convergence, into convergence. Yes, I've made a little bit longer burst that I do always, but that's okay. That burst was quite short, nevertheless. That's good for saving ammunition. I think I had 25-26 rounds on that burst. I have 72-75 such a bursts in my P-40 ammunition boxes. Just imagine 75 short bursts. That's great armament, great ammunition. On Yak 1, Yak 9 you have from 8 to 11 short bursts, and those are cannon bursts, 1 or 2 or 3 shells of cannon, so you need to be much more precise. You need to have much better skills, gunnery skills on Yak 1, Yak 9, on Lavachka also. So P-40 is ideal airplane for tired or inexperienced player, or any player for your efficiency. Even experienced players could have hard times with hitting targets. Oh, another shallow approach. Let's practice shallow approach. That's also relevant. Good hit, but not on convergence point. That truck's gonna be destroyed. Driver probably killed or injured. I saw him running out of that vehicle. Of course, in real life, all drivers should be far away from those vehicles, laying down and praying. And you will not see any moving cars or trucks while strafing. That's insane, unrealistic feature of this game. Some single player or multiplayer occasions you can see those vehicles running away from you, strafing them. That's completely insane, very unrealistic. All vehicles should be stationary except of armored vehicles. Even panzers should be stationary. When you're under attack, you do not move. You're surviving you're in surviving mode, not driving somewhere mode. You find yourself a safe place, you find any obstacles, any cover, you put your vehicle to that cover and run away. And if you're inside Panzer or tank, maybe you stay inside or trying to shoot down airplane with your machine gun, but you do not move. That was a good hit, but very bad approach. I was too late on my elevator trim settings. So unfortunately I've got no time for my usual base heading changing maneuver, unfortunately. I'm gonna have another one circle, last circle, famous last words, and I'm gonna return to base, because I need to simulate that long range strafing mission. I had 360 kilometers route flying to that point from my airfield, and I'm gonna need to make that way back to simulate long range strafing mission. That P-40 has got such a long range capabilities. I like it. Not every airplane has got such capabilities, even without a Bailey tank. Just as I said, she is lighter now. I'm burning fuel, and her behavior has changed. So I think I need to wait more and pull up slower to get right diving initial point. Yes, let's wait a little bit, wait, and then dive. And still I'm quite shallow. That was a bad strafing run, but anyway, I'm off. I do not practice rejoin after strafing, but that would be very interesting procedure also. I'm turning to 090 heading and return to base. That's gonna be simulated return to base route flying. I have reduced my power to slow down, and I'm adjusting elevator trim when it's gonna be 40, minus 40 elevator. That's gonna be my do not collide with the sea surface. Shut down cowl flaps, pull up, pull up, watch our heading. Elevator trim up. Okay, I don't need to techno chat anymore. Manifold pressure up, throttle level forward, and I'm stabilized. That's straight and level, that's low level flying. Low level straight and level flying is a little bit easier because you've got, how you say it in English, aerodynamic cushion. You have that in this game, so it's a little bit easier for you, even if your power settings is a little bit incorrect. You're gonna fly. You will not touch the surface because of aerodynamic cushion. I don't know how to say it in English. Well, that's low level. About 20 meters. Oh, that's a enemy target. No. Yeah, that's an enemy. No. Who was it? Some flock. Who was it? What's going on? Yeah, some flock. I have opened my radiator flaps to reduce airspeed because I need a little bit less airspeed. I forgot I need to switch to auto lean. Let's switch it. Yes. And that's auto lean. I hope. Yes, that's auto lean. And throttle forward a little bit. But that aerodynamic cushion doesn't allow me to hit the waves, to hit the sea surface, channel surface. Okay, 21.5 I think is gonna be enough, maybe 21.2, not enough. Let's try 21.5.6. I hope that's gonna be enough. That egressing from objective, I love it. Straight and level, stabilized. Low level flying. Real low level flying. Very low. To be stealthy. And of course, just as I mentioned some previous not enough, I'm changing radiator settings. Many players use unrealistic visibility in this game to find targets, but who knows, maybe someday we'll got Jason Williams develop realistic game for us, and we're gonna play, and we're gonna need all our skills to be stealthy as an attacker airplane. For those who hunt us. That's low level, that's stealthy. Okay, you're gonna open cowl shutters a little bit because I've gained some altitude, and let's hope, let's change our track IR settings, not so much, and let's hope there's gonna be enough fuel for me. I still got about 10 gallons in my left wing and about 25 gallons in my right wing. Let's hope that's gonna be enough. If that's not gonna be enough, I'm gonna start climbing, because high altitude helps you to waste, to spend less fuel, and that altitude is gonna enable you to glide to the airfield without your engine working. But still, for stealthy purposes, you need to have zero altitude. You need to stay on a deck level, because radars, radar activity could spot you, and listening posts and enemy fighter airplanes in real life condition, in realistic conditions gonna see you easily when you're climbing, and that's gonna be very hard to see you when you're on a deck level. For some reason that's too much. I open. Why I'm climbing? No, I will not open it anymore. I'm gonna reduce. This game has got some, unfortunately it has got staged fuel physics. That was a staged balance changing. I could feel that on my strafing pattern, and I feel that on my straight and level stabilized flying. Okay, 21.1 and cowl shutters close. That's gonna be enough, I think. That's okay when you've got those unrealistic how you say it, drops of seawater on your windshield. That means your altitude is less than 30 feet. That's very good, very good. In windy conditions you would have I'm gonna close my cowl shutters. Unfortunately, P-40's radiator flaps or cowl shutters they not such an effective. You need a lot of closing or opening to change your airspeed. And A20 is a great airplane because even 2 or 3% of radiator flaps open or close change your airspeed quite a lot. So A20 cowl flaps are much more effective than these P-40 cowl flaps. I think now I have always almost closed those cowl shutters, but still I'm on that aerodynamic cushion. That's too risky. That's too low for me. That's too low. That's risky. But I'm gonna lose weight because of losing fuel, burning fuel. And now she is not pitching nose down. Now she doesn't need more and more airspeed for balanced flight, stabilized flying attitude. Now she needs less and less airspeed because of losing weight. And now she's losing weight without pitching nose up or pitching nose down. And when she was losing fuel in the back fuel tank, she was losing weight, but more to the more effect she's been pitching nose down. So that's why I needed to very slowly increasing my airspeed for stabilized attitude. But that aerodynamic cushion helps me a lot. I can see my airspeed is insufficient, is not enough, but I'm bouncing off that aerodynamic cushion and do not touch waves, do not touch sea surface, do not crash. That's very convenient. Those flak was a mystery for me, but Il2 mechanics engine has such features. I remember about 15 years ago on Il2 Forgotten Battles there were very good Russian server Corvina, and someday Lofte was admin on that server. He was a map maker and he put mission. That was very unusual feature for multiplayer those days, and today it's also very unusual. There were a destroyer, Soviet destroyer, which could fire its main guns, fire and destroy ground target. Ground target was airfield, and to trigger that destroyer behavior, to start him destroying the target, you needed to start to destroy some units on that airfield. I remember I destroyed probably a flak unit or some vehicle on that airfield flew back to my airfield, and about 12 minutes or 15 minutes later I returned to that enemy target. I was amazed that Navy destroyer cannons just leveled up all airfield. Entire airfield was burned and all units were destroyed. Airplanes, flak units, all equipment, all vehicles, all tank trucks, everything was destroyed. And that destroyer, that Navy ship, needed less than 10 minutes to do that. That was incredible, unusual. And when I got myself to that target, splashes of those Navy cannons were still there. So I watched those splashes, those explosions. That was unusual because I never saw that in multiplayer before. Probably some similar occasion were this time. I was alone on this server, but still there were no enemy airplanes, but still some flak units were firing. I don't know who they were trying to hit. They were not firing me, my airplane, somewhere over Celsius. I saw those flak units firing. That's interesting. But let's be frank, this game is nowhere near so good as Forgotten Battles multiplayer was. We had 400, 500 units on map, and we could play with 40, 50 players on server, and that was fine. This game nowhere near as good as multiplayer as Forgotten Battles was. This game is 10 years already. No improvements were made. That's very sad. They developing a new simulator right now. They say it's gonna be much more brighter or much more beautiful picture. I believe that this simulator got much more beautiful picture than Forgotten Battles has. But what we're gonna have a little bit worse multiplayer in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the case. Multiplayer is also very relevant, very important for us. In all Ил2 great Forgotten Battles, I always played on Tuman Vayny server, and there were a lot of realistic rear vehicle convoys on that server. That was realistic, that was normal to start in the back in some rear light airfield and to strafe some rear enemy vehicle column. In this game, historical air war and tactical air war are two servers which present your vehicle columns. No more truck vehicle columns in multiplayer. No more tank columns. That's not right. So how can I pick my turning point? I need to... I can see that beachhead. Probably that would be okay if I wait another 2 minutes and turn left. That's Dungeness beachhead. I can see right now. Then I'm gonna turn left. This lead and right is gonna be good terrain features for me to find where I am. That river, I forgot how to say it in English. River mouse is a great terrain feature to find where I am, and those numerous airfields also a good help, so I will not lose myself. Okay, left turn commands. Extra power, 15-degree bank angle, a little bit climbing, that's not a big deal, that's for safety reasons. Great mission. I didn't have such a great mission for a very, very long time. I really miss a good multiplayer with that P-40. No, any multiplayer with P-40 with vehicle column targets to strafe. We're gonna have that on historical air war server, but Technochat isn't available on that server. I need Technochat. Very brief moments of Technochat using. I need that for good flying. I've changed my heading for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna open call shutters. Some reason I'm gaining altitude. I shouldn't be. I'm still on my left wing fuel tank. That's very good, very good. I think I might make it home. And of course I'm gonna perform overhead brake pattern. I like it, I love it. I will not forget to practice that pattern. I've got a lot of ammunition left, but I'm gonna have a very little fuel left. So behavior on overhead brake pattern, on descending, on touchdown, on landing itself, it's gonna be quite different. So I've got some major city. That's Heather. Oh, what city it is? That's Hastings. That's wrong of me. That's Hastings. Okay. I will not change my heading, change my route. I was a little bit early on my left turn, but that's nothing. Bexhill, little common on my left, I see it. Next pond on 0619 is gonna be my visual reference, and soon I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna do jumping plus 5 inches manifold pressure and pull up, not letting her increase, accelerate. You can feel it. She's not pitching nose up and pitching nose down. Pull up a little bit more and get ready to push back and throttle back, and a little bit throttle up, accelerate a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna need to jump once again, throttle forward, pull up. She's stabilized. That means I've got sufficient airspeed. T-junction crossroad, that probably 0718.9 T-junction, and then I'm gonna dive to stay stealthy. That means minus 5 inches manifold pressure and stick forward, push forward. But once again, she's not pitching nose up, almost not pitching nose up. That means I've got sufficient airspeed for stabilized flying on my elevator trim settings. And now I'm level up. That pond is very good visual reference. And next visual reference gonna be Hawkhurst. I think I'm gonna Hawkhurst. I will not turn left. Jump and level up. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it safe? That's low level. That's a great low level flying. Of course, with such a terrain, you won't be able to maintain all the landscape features, but some of them you're gonna able to repeat. Now surface is going down and I'm going down to stay low level. once again, pull up and throttle back, throttle forward. It's a little bit higher than I need, but soon I gonna need to jump once again. I don't want to another pond. Oh, I've lost myself. I think another point, another pond. I've lost myself. I don't know where I am. Navigation is very tricky when you're low level, but you need to have that skill, wait for any ground feature, road, village, river, small pond, nothing. And you need to be stabilized for letting yourself to deal with navigation, not dealing with controlling your airplane. Some village to my left. Some village to my left. Let's say that Hawkhurst. No, that wasn't, but well, I can say I will not hide that I've lost myself. I need to find where I am. That's a common deal. It's a very usual thing to find yourself lost when you've got no, when you're not able to see any terrain features. That village isn't Hurst. That probably Hatfield. 270, okay. Level up, I can see the road. The road direction is like from north to south. That very much could be Hawkhurst. I need to dive, I'm too high. I need to dive. That's gonna reduce my abilities to watch a little bit more, but oh, that's another pond, very convenient. Leveling up once again. Let's memorize that pond's shape, and I'm gonna find myself. I need to jump once again. That's very hard. Low level flying is very hard. Oh, I can see, that's what I call experienced player in terms of navigation. No GPS, no altitude to see, but now I'm over there. 0518.7. I'm gonna have another road which have direction 135315. I'm somewhere 0517.9. Crowborough is gonna be on my 11 o'clock. I saw that far away. Is it safe? Yes, it's safe. I'm not gonna hit that treetops. Yes, that's safe, I think. I don't need to jump. Maybe a little bit. Accelerate a little bit. Yes, that's safe. And soon I'm gonna need to dive. That's Crowborough. Very big city on my 11. And let us dive a little bit, so we stealthy for any enemy hunter. That's only practicing, of course. No enemy hunters for me right now. Maybe I'm gonna do another stream today. It's already 3 weeks I didn't connect to Berloga. I didn't play Berloga. I need that to refresh my poor dogfighting skills. Some guys do dogfighting every day, and I once in 3 weeks. That's a disaster, complete disaster. But what can you do? Not much time you got for playing. Okay. I am somewhere 0517.7. I am quite low. I need to dive a little bit more. And then I'm gonna find next terrain feature. Next terrain feature is gonna be railroad and then another railroad. Here it is, first railroad, great. That's going from south to north. And the road. Probably another railroad, and I'm gonna have another railroad. No, soon I'm gonna have another railroad. Some jumping, once again leveling up. I'm gonna start climbing only when I'm close to my airfield. That's Crowbro. I hope I didn't miss that navigation. How about my fuel? Fuel is sufficient. Very well, very well. I like it. That means I was able to do 360 kilometers till from my airfield to objective, and you can add to that 80 kilometers of my formation pattern. And I'm gonna have about 50 kilometers of my overhead brake pattern. And that means I'm gonna have about 800 kilometers flight distance. That's very well, very good. Very tricky to maintain low-level flight, because you need to repeat all terrain features. Not all, but most of those terrain features. Now over high ground, and I got good view, and I need to pick up my next. Oh, I forgot to set up aileron trim settings. my next terrain feature is gonna be that railroad once again. Oh, I see that railroad. And after railroad I'm gonna have normal road, vehicle road, and some big city to the south. That city is Hayward's Heath. Yes, that's Hayward Heath. Some ponds, some rivers, some bridges, any terrain features I could use to find myself. And that Crowley town on my right. I should have it on my right. T-junction. That's a very good terrain feature. T-junction, road T-junction. That 0514.7 T-junction, and I'm gonna have railroad soon. I don't need to be so high. I need to decrease my altitude. Where is that railroad? No railroad. But that T-junction, that I'm gonna have railroad soon. Maintaining heading is also tricky when you're when you're performing low-level flying. I didn't see that railroad, so I might be wrong with my... And no Crowley on my right wing. Oh no, there is some town that should be Crowley. Where is... How could I miss that railroad? I couldn't miss it. Okay, next is gonna be Horsham, and another road and two railroads. Let's not miss it. That's important for navigation purposes. Jumping a little bit. Or you can call it low-level flying. It could be... I need to dive a little bit. Altitude is too much. Okay, I've got road. Next gonna be railroad. Should be railroad next. Yes. Railroad with heading 240060. Next road's gonna be from south to north. That's gonna be railroad, and next road's gonna be also south to north. Little pond. Maybe that map isn't accurate. Once again I've missed that railroad. I should watch it carefully. I missed that railroad, but that place I know, I saw. So I am 0512.8.7, and next terrain feature is going to be Halsmere. That means I'm almost home. Horsham. That was Horsham. Next gonna be some pond on my some small pond on my 12, then a little bit bigger pond, and very small tiny pond, or even you can call it dump on my 1 o'clock. That's low level, very good for stealthy, to maintain stealthy. Okay, some pond, that's 0511 point, so that big pond's gonna be on my 1 o'clock. That's gonna be clearly visible for me. Great, P-40 stabilized, very good. Great airplane. Great gun platform. That's not safe, I think. I need to... No, that's safe. That's safe or not? I don't want to hit any treetops. Of course my props should be green because of those leaves. If we could have normal repairs and mechanics in this game, or some repair crew, they wouldn't be happy. Halsmer, where are you? Where are you, Halsmer? I'm jumping a little bit and leveling up. Not insufficient airspeed, not enough. Add some power. Oh, Halsmer on my 1 o'clock, just as I predicted. I need to jump a little bit to do some navigation paintings. Stupid. I have almost collided. Once again, that's absolutely not realistic. When you need to lose your visual to work with your chart, with your navigation chart. Absolutely unrealistic. Ugly. Those developers, management, high management, that's a shame. That's a shame for you. Such an unrealistic feature. Any real pilot who watches map chart, navigation chart, who do some paintings, do some markings on those map, they are able to see with the side view, even with the forward view. They able to see. They able to look around. This is very bad. So I bet new game's gonna be even worse than that. It's gonna be very beautiful, yes, visual. Of course it's gonna be beautiful. The game's engine is ancient, 15 years old. Of course it's gonna be beautiful, but we need other features of this game to be improved, to be developed as they should be developed. Okay, I'm turning. I've painted that line to see where I should turn on my approach heading. Approach to the area of entering, approach straight, overhead brake pattern, initial point, approach straight. And I think that new Alresford is on my right. I think on my left. Oh, that's a great pond. This, oh, that, no, that's, oh, that was a hit. I'm sorry for that, that was unfortunate. That's exactly what I've been saying. You're not able to work with your map. That's very unfortunate. Thank you, developers. Of course that was my fault. I wanted so badly to get to my airfield and make that landing. Unfortunately, of course that was my fault. But that's exactly what I've been saying. I thought I was over there and I was over here. I've opened my navigation chart to watch that, and bang, I hit the trees. Very unfortunate. I wanted that overhead brake pattern, that landing, that taxiing to my parking place. But what can you do? That was my fault. That was my bad. Okay, I think that's it for today. I had only 20 minutes left. Poor devils, no good multiplayer on this game. Thanks to SteelSkies, SLT SteelSkies server, great mission. Very unfortunate I couldn't make that. I had no enough time. Okay, I don't know, maybe later today I'm gonna do Berlog action. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.